So a lot of you guys have been asking for a tutorial on how to make Steve's lava chicken place. Yeah, here you go. This is going to be a long video, so here's a timestamp of everything in case if you don't want to build one of them. You can just skip ahead to whatever part you want to do. Forgive me if there are flaws or parts I could have done better. I did all this redstone and the music all on my own, so enjoy. If you're building this in survival, here are all the items you're going to need. I think it's exact to how I build it here. So yeah. All right. So first, you want to find a flat land where you want to build your place. This is going to be the back of your building. So choose somewhere where that's going to be like next to a mountain or something, because there's going to be a lot of ugly redstone behind it. Make sure these hoppers are in the same position. I place them here because you don't want one facing the wrong direction. Ignore the chickens in the redstone that I have right here. I just forgot to put this back when I was building it. So yeah, make sure there's 2 torches there and some of those trapdoors there and here. Now for the redstone part, make sure you have a clear area in the back so you have plenty of room to place your redstone. I'll be talking a lot more here because I know a lot of you guys struggle with redstone, so just just bear with me. All right, we're gonna have this wrap around all the way over here. We want the redstone to reach both the pistons. All right, we're gonna want redstone torch there. Make sure the repeater's going to the bottom of that block, and then have redstone coming off the torch here. That block there to go into that piston. So now it should look like that. And then make sure both pistons are pushed because if they're not, then you can have a lot of troubles with that in the future. Now, if you're doing this in creative mode, punch a hole right here so you can place a dispenser right here. This is so that the chicken will spawn and will burn in the lava. So that he could be turned into Steve's lava chicken, you know. Um, but we're gonna fill it with chicken spawn eggs. Forgot they changed the textures of that. Anyways, fill this with however many chickens you want. This is so that chicken will spawn and will get burned. Uh, if you're doing this in survival, just ignore this step right here. Because you will not need a dispenser and you won't be able to get spawn eggs. But we want to place a redstone torch there, a repeater connected to the redstone right here. Make sure that torch turns off. Now, if you flip the lever, that's not supposed to happen. But yeah, the redstone right here at the bottom, you don't want it to be next to that block because that repeater will be constantly powering that. Just have it go around right there. That way, when you do that, the dispenser will shoot out a chicken. I don't have any spawn eggs right there, so a chicken did not spawn. And he will burn in the lava. But if you're doing this in survival mode and you do not have spawn eggs, just go back to how it was here. And later on, I'll show you how you can get natural chickens to fall in there. Okay, so we're gonna dig a hole down here. I'm gonna be a little squeezed between the bedrock. Hopefully you don't have this problem because I'm on a flat world. You want to cover up all these hoppers except for that one. You want that one to be exposed, the one that's aiming down. You're gonna want it to go this way. You want to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hoppers. All going this direction, right into this hole right here. And we're gonna want to get some droppers. We're gonna place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should be perfectly lined up with the stairs there. And then you want to place. Oop, hold on. I gotta Gonna go back here. This is where the chickens are going to drop. I'm gonna get rid of this trapdoor here. This gate. And then break away so that you could at least fit in there. We'll place all this back later. But this is where all the hoppers are going to go. You want it to go around because you don't want the chickens to be laying eggs in your hoppers, so because that's gonna be a problem. And then you want to place one dropper facing down right here. And then we're gonna have the redstone going right here and here through the glass. You'd be able to see it going up the wall right there through the glass. And then we're going to break this fence gate right here. Have a hopper going into it right there. Have one on top of it, side, and then trail it back to here. Should go right to about, oh, come on, right there. And then have them going back here. Place them all the way back until we hit the droppers. And then it should be lined up perfectly like that. And then we're going to place all these blocks back that we destroyed at the first part. And then put your banners back. Gotta place the smooth stone back, or the smooth sandstone back. And then the banners back the way they were. And then make sure the hole is covered up right here. And then we should be good to go back to our build here. All right. So we need to get our observers and comparators. We need 3 of each of these. Have one comparator coming out of the bottom one right here. Observer facing the comparator. And then redstone dust around there like that. And then we're going to place a platform right above that. And we're going to do the exact same thing with our comparator, observer facing that way, and then 3 redstone there. And then we're going to repeat this just one more time. This is just so that the items go all the way up and into that hopper. And then 3 redstone there. Okay. Now, if I'm correct, if I put an item in this hopper right here, it should go straight into our hopper right here above. I did not hear the droppers working though, so there might have been a problem. I'll have to check. There you go. Okay. It got stuck here because we have a redstone dust keeping it from doing that. So any redstone power will stop a hopper from processing the item through, and it should end up here. There you go. Okay. Now all we got to do is find an alternate way to activate this redstone here. So just be safe. 3 blocks. Have it going 2 blocks above the hopper, just so it don't stop it. Now we gotta make some way for the redstone to go through and activate that hopper. Okay, yeah, we can't do it here because this is where we're gonna have the chickens fall through. We're gonna do it on this side with this hopper right here. Place block underneath, comparator coming out of it, and then another block going out there. Full tick on all of these repeaters, just so we have the most time. Okay, we cannot have that there. Okay. We're gonna have a little bit more space here. Now, it's okay if the repeaters touch these hoppers because it's going to be a temporary signal, which means it's not going to be holding the hopper captive. Put a solid block there so that the repeater goes through that block. We're going to have another few repeaters here, all on full tick. The maximum delay. Put a block there so chickens don't fall through. And a redstone dust there. That way it should be connected to that hopper. Alright, so I just tested that a few times, and we're going to need a lot more hopper or repeaters than the amount that we had. So we're going to have quite a bit there. Let me test this one more time and see if it drops it out. And come on. Okay, so that did work. Okay, so let me come back here and show you. We got comparator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 repeaters on full tick. So you want that amount of delay just so that we're not having any problems with the items. Which, by the way, they are going to drop feathers, so we're going to make a sorter right here, just so that the feathers don't get put into that dropper, so it's just the chickens when they die. So we're going to have comparator there, hopper going into the comparator like that. We're going to fill the hopper with oak signs. We fill it with 4. And then grab the feathers, because this is what it's going to be sorting out. We're going to put 6 feathers in there like that. And then we're going to have redstone dust going down like this. Now, this is where it's going to be a problem, because I am kind of squeezed in between the bedrock here. Like I said, hopefully you guys don't have this problem. We're going to have redstone dust there. And then we're going to have a repeater right here. This part isn't necessary. Just make sure you have a repeater placed right there, like that. Alright, oops, I did not mean to break that. Put our signs back. And our feathers. Okay. And then we're going to have a block there. And then we're going to have a redstone torch on the other side right here. And then we're going to have to get, you could either make yourself like an item garbage can, or if you're saving the feathers, just grab some chests right here. Put them right here. This is where all the feathers are going to go. Then have a hopper going into the chest like that, right underneath the other hopper. And so, if I'm right, this should work. If I put some feathers in here. Alright, and then it went in the chest. So we could put some more feathers. We'll do 3 feathers. And we got 3 more in there. Okay. That should work just fine. That way no feathers go into your dropper. It'll only be chicken going through here. Alright. Now we're gonna make the area where the chickens are going to fall through. If you're doing this in creative and you already did the dispenser trick, then just ignore this part. I'll give you a timestamp right here to skip to once this is done. So once we're here, we're gonna fill in these blocks right here. Going to place blocks around right here. This is where the chickens are going to walk in and fall through. And then we're going to grab ourselves some iron trapdoors. We're going to break here, place the trapdoors facing the lava. We want them to open up that way. And then we're going to put signs just under these so that they can fall through. Make sure the lava doesn't fall through. And then place the stone back here so the signs don't burn. And then we're going to have a redstone signal coming up through here. Bear with me here. I have no idea exactly how I'm gonna do this. I've done it before. That's okay. I'm gonna put a repeater here. Make sure no redstone's touching it. Deactivated torch here. And then redstone. Put a block there so redstone don't connect. Put 2 blocks right there. And then, okay, so that won't work. We need to have 2 repeaters going in there. Both of them activating the trapdoors. Oops. Okay, we don't want to deactivate that on accident. Gonna have blocks going around right here. Redstone connected there. And then that should have the trapdoors open. Now, we do want it to turn off or turn on when we flip the lever on. So we're going to put a reverser right here. We're going to make it so that the redstone is on by default. Then we're going to make a way so that the redstone will get to that repeater. Like going through like this. We don't want it to poke out too much because we don't want too much ugly redstone poking out. We're going to grab a piece of glass and put it right there so that the redstone will go through it. Alright, if the lever is off, then make sure the doors are closed. We're going to break these 2 blocks here. Grab ourselves a tripwire hook. Grab some string. Now we're going to make it so that chickens, when they walk through, only one of them gets in, and a bunch don't walk in and fall into the lava and die. Okay. Ignore this part here. Okay. Gonna have a tripwire hook here. Have lock here, tripwire hook there. Alright. And then we're going to break this block right here. Make sure there's a stone right there. We're going to cover this right here. We're going to grab ourselves a piston. Place it right here facing down. Alright. And then we're going to go to where our tripwire hook is coming out right here. We're going to have it go to the piston. Make sure it works good. And it does. Alright. Except it doesn't stay closed when a chicken goes through. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a toggler, which, if you don't know what that is, it's when a small pulse of redstone gets turned into constant pulse that can be toggled on and off by just one more click of. And we're going to build out a little platform right here for the toggler. It's going to have a dropper facing this way, dropper facing up, dropper facing back, and then a hopper going down into there. Then have one item, any item, it could be whatever. Put it into this corner one right here. We're going to have a little platform here, put a repeater into that corner one where the item is. Have a redstone dust going all the way here, make it 4 tick. And then that should be the toggler. And then for the output, we're going to have, let me test this, make sure it's toggling. It should be in here now. It is. And then we're going to put a comparator facing outwards from where the item is. It should be lit up like that. And then we're going to have some stone right here going out. Can't have it on those hoppers. but we're just going to test it here just to make sure it works fine. Right? I should toggle it off, toggle it on, toggle it off, and that should work fine. Alright, so now we need a way for it to close once the chicken is dead. We're going to grab redstone trailing off of this part right here. And then it's going to go into this part right here. We'll place this back in a minute. We want it to touch this redstone right here. And then we'll have a solid block right here, not glass, going into that. Place our red terracotta back. Alright. So that should be going in there like that. We're going to get ourselves a bunch of chickens. If you have a chicken farm, grab yourself a bunch of eggs, spawn them all in right here. Make sure you don't touch the repeaters. One of those should fall in there. If there's an extra one, he should die. Let me check here. One more thing, make sure this gap is closed right here. You don't want any chickens getting out. You don't want any baby chickens either because they will not die to the lava. Alright. One chicken should go through. If there's an extra one, he'll die. There should be one chicken in there. Make sure you restock your chickens. Plenty of chickens. And then cover that up right there. That way if we pull this, chicken should go into there. Will get burned. And then once the chicken goes up and into the dropper, should open up that latch for another one to drop in if he needs to. And it should dispense the chicken. It's not dispensing the chicken. Let me check back here. Alright, so chicken's in here. It's getting stopped by this redstone signal. So, yeah, like I said earlier, can't have redstone touching the hoppers. So what we're going to do is we're going to redo this part right here. We're going to have blocks coming out right here. We're going to have not a repeater, a comparator coming out right there. And then have a repeater coming out right here. You're a bunch of chickens dying right now. Because we do not have the closer hooked up. We want it connected to the redstone right there. Alright. And that should close it, quit the chickens from dying. Let's refill the chickens a little bit. Alright. And then close that up right there. Should be working now. Pull the lever. Chicken drops down. Gets burnt. Feather gets sorted out. Chicken goes through the ride of hoppers and droppers. Should move all the way over to this dropper here. And get dispensed. Alright. So that should be working just fine as it is. Chickens should be getting refilled there. Should be one in there. Yep. Oh. And if there's any extras, they'll probably get burnt and die. So that should be it for the redstone part. Like I said, it's going to be kind of ugly on the back. You're going to want to build it like next to a mountain or something. Because, yeah, that's not going to be able to get hidden very well. So now for the song part where Steve sings, you just make a trail of redstone going wherever you want. It could be underground, it could be in the sky. Just make sure it's hidden, but also where you can hear it. But you are going to need a reverser right here. So make sure you have redstone torch and a repeater going in it like that, because you want this to be turned off while the lever is off. Here's a screenshot of all the note blocks and repeaters. Uh, Make sure you pay close attention to the numbers, what tick they're on. Um, 3 is full tick, 1 being 1 tick. Uh, and then the red numbers are the pitches of the note blocks. I screenshot it and just copy it exactly how it is here, and that should be the whole song. Make sure it's connected to the redstone part I just showed you. Uh, and then yeah, that should be it. And that's how I made Steve's lava chicken. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all successfully made it. Even with my complications. Put a villager in here. It should be all good. Decorate your place. Thank y'all for watching, yo. Lava chicken.